good.
Not good enough.
We can but learn. And the greatest teacher is out there. Now go. Death to Kronos.
Death to Kronos.
Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn, a thirst and desire. You transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn, a thirst and desire. You transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
All right. Go. All right. I think we can get started. To everyone coming in, hi. Welcome to the Cafe Autumn, where we don't care who you are as long as you're not a cunt. I had planned to do this, I think, Saturday? Something like that? I don't remember. But I had a bit of a power outage, and yeah, I couldn't exactly get the stream back up when I wanted to, so I decided to schedule it for today. But yeah, I'm back with Hades 2. Have not played this game, and I do not remember how long ago. When the last time I streamed this? The last time I streamed Hades 2. About 3 months ago, maybe more. Yeah, so I have not played this in over 3 months. Jeez. But yeah, I'm back. Yeah, pretty much. The audio's out of sync. Give me a sec. That's better.
This is my path.
I do want to try Hades 2 at some point. I just haven't beat the first game yet.
Yeah,
well,
it's
not fully.
It's a pretty good game. Honestly, it is. There's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of different changes and I'll even say improvements to what Hades initially did.
Well, that's always good.
Each night presents to us a new beginning. Isn't that so, my dear? And on this night, I shall accompany you from the very start until the bitter end.
God, it looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is still in just in early access.
I know, and it's surprising.
Our bond renewed.
If I recall correctly, I wanted to do this when they were doing because they came out with a fourth patch that I wanted to play when it released, but the schedule just was not working as I intended it to, and so, by the time I wanted to play it, I think it was just making it a live stream about a patch feels a little too late in the game for that. And then I just got preoccupied with other stuff.
It happens to the best of us.
Yep. And me! Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. There's a few different games I've been wanting to play for a bit. Like, I wanted to do a live stream, just going through Sonic the Hedgehog, and I'm talking like OG Sega Genesis Sonic the Hedgehog. Did not pan out. Just did not work out. And then I had considered doing Sonic Adventure DX live stream.
In retrospect, I ought not have permitted Kronos to speak with me, but he was persuasive. I still do not fully understand how you communicate. What you say is not always what you mean, and your intentions may be carefully veiled. So I pay closer notice now.
Jesus Christ, a severed head.
Yeah, that's just chaos. Ooh.
Greater might.
Yeah, I wanted to do a Sonic Adventure DX stream, but with what I wanted in mind,
I'm cursed.
it was... It just was not going to work out on Steam Deck.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a shame. Like, I can still play the game, but... Just, it's just not going to be what I had planned in mind. Because,
Well, that sucks.
yeah. The other day, I mean... Hell, I mean, in terms of, like, games I want to revisit, like, I know I revisited, like, Persona 5 the other day. I consider, like, actually taking a second, or, since I had taken a step back, I considered taking a look at Royal again, because it was like, I've given that game a lot of criticism and shit and whatnot, and I figured, no, it's been some years, maybe my thoughts have changed on it about it and whatnot. I considered it. But one, I own 3 fucking copies of Persona 5, including Royal, and 2, if I was going to do this, it would have to genuinely be an experience worth revisiting where it's just like, it's not me just playing Persona 5 again. It would have to be like something worth like revisiting it for a different life. Like when I did Devil May Cry 5, I had like the in development cutscenes where it had a lot of funny stuff going on. Like, that was worth a full playthrough just to see all those cutscenes.
It would just have to be, like, different enough. I get it.
Yeah, like, essentially, it would have to not be different enough for me to want to stream it, but also entertaining enough for me to want to actually, like, sit down and play it for some hours. And so I thought, alright, well... It as is, like, look, I'm not expecting Atlas to, like, come out with another update or something to really spice things up. So it as is, it's just, it's just what it is. So I'm thinking, alright, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna look on mods. Because sometimes people will just make mods that are really good. Like, sometimes you'll get skin mods, sure, but other times you can just end up getting mods that, like, change the game in a lot of different ways.
Let's go then.
And when I looked on it, it really, if anything, like, at this point, I wasn't even trying to, like, start shit with the Persona fandom. I wasn't even trying to hate on Royal. I was merely just trying, hey, could I, like, look for something to help, you know, make things a little more interesting when I play it? And I looked and was just like, it felt depressing. It really did.
There was nothing?
It was almost like I really wish there was nothing. Because there was like, somebody made, hey, the new character in the game, well, we're gonna have a complete overhaul where you actually play the story as that character. I'm like, oh wow, that sounds really cool. And it's like, oh, it's 90% in development, it's almost done. Turns out the person who made the mod went on a complete indefinite hiatus. And said, hey, if anybody wants to take over with my mod, you're more than welcome to. And it has been, I think, I don't know how long, but it has been, like, pretty long since it has actually come back up. So, I think it's just kind of dead in the water for right now. So that's a shame.
Ooh.
And then I was looking and it was just like, not really any skin mods. Not really, like... It's just not really any skin mods, not really any, like, fun cosmetics or anything. The only one where it's just, like, I came across, like, oh, we're featuring a new, like, this new big mod. Like, oh, this is a really big mod. Alright, let's see what it is. And the cat in Persona 5, people were like, well, because everybody hates him so much, I've modded him so that he's not in the game, period. And it's just like...
Wow.
Okay, I say this with no snark, no sarcasm, no wit. Some of y'all gotta stop playing this game. I'm just gonna be real. Some of y'all gotta stop playing this game. When a fictional anime cat has gotten to the point where now people want to take it into account where they just remove him entirely, it's just like, it just depresses the fuck out of me.
See it.
And then I was like, okay. And this is sort of what made me want to get into, like, Sonic Adventure DX for a stream. Is I looked up, like, alright, what are some old games I could play that I used to play? Like, take a second look at that have some pretty good mods for them. I looked up Nights into Dreams, nothing. I looked up Crazy Taxi, I didn't really see too much. Aside from some things that were pretty interesting. It was like, yeah, you know, I could revisit Crazy Taxi sometime, but it wasn't really like anything where it was just like, oh man, this is amazing. This is one of a kind of like experience that I could put together with all these mods. And then I looked up Sonic Adventure, just the first game. Now, Dreamcast version, not really anything much to talk about. There's not really any mods whatsoever. It's just kind of eh. But I looked up the DX for, like, PC and Steam. The PC rendition of Sonic Adventure, the mods, oh god, there are so many. It is actually, it just took me aback. You get to play as, like, Sonic the Hedgehog, but as a Jet Set Radio character. Somebody modded to call in, somebody modded Cream the Rabbit, and somebody modded Rouge the Bat. And these aren't just, like, skins. They also went out of their way to, like, add full-on voice lines, new themes, even, like, new storylines. It's just insane. Like, the amount of just, like, effort the Sonic fandom will put into a game like that. And it's just, like, that is something I look at, I'm like, you know what? I would love to make, like, a full live stream session of playing that version of Sonic Adventure DX, and it just did not work on the Steam Deck. I could not get the mod manager to fucking work. So I just can't do it.
What a sight you are.
It's because, like, I tested it out on I tested it out on my own computer. I got the mods to work and everything. It works perfectly fine. Just on Steam Deck, I can't even mod it to begin with because the launcher doesn't even want to install.
That's a mother.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then I thought, hey, can I like, I don't know, do this manually? Because I can do that sometimes, where it's just like, I just drag and drop certain files into the correct areas, and then I got mods. Like, I could definitely do that with, like, Hades 2 if I really wanted to. But, no, I just couldn't.
Fit for a queen.
I don't care for having to retaliate like this, but it's all part of the deal, you understand?
Yeah.
We fickle gods. Struck true.
Yeah. I do want to revisit some old games. I'm just looking in terms of, like, both what would be interesting to play right now and also, like, what I want to play. Because that's a big thing, because, like, I got a bunch of games that I would love to play, but it's just like they're not really interesting. But on the flip side, there's a bunch of games I know that are interesting, but it's just like I don't really want to play them right now.
Do you have like a specific genre you're kind of into right now?
It's not really a genre as much as it is just like sort of what I feel. Like I would like to do a revisiting one of these days of Dance Dance Revolution, but I don't have a dance pad, and it's just like I don't have a dance pad. I don't have a working copy of the game, and it's just like also in the current day of making content, I don't even think I could be able to do that because it's licensed music.
The Smith God's power.
I'm thinking back and forth, and I might do like stream on like Ratchet and Clank. I might do a stream on Def Jam. I might do a stream on God of War, stuff like that. But other than that, I don't know.
Breathe. Tis a particularly quiet night. Observe the silence for a moment ere we begin our little test of just how capable you have become.
Oh
It
no.
does seem unusually still, and the moon wanes. An ill-portented, mistress? Our shades should check up on your hounds.
No need. The hounds fend mostly for themselves. Like as not, they use this time to rest, as you'd be wise to do now and again. Cross blades.
Cursed? What?
Can't attack. Can't do shit.
Jesus Christ. That's scary. Jesus. Oh my.
There we go. 3 months later, and I still got it.
Return to Shadow now.
Yes.
I mean, if you were ever looking for games to play, I could always recommend you a few. Because I know a lot of these games I play usually go on sale, and I usually try to play games from like years and years ago.
I mean, if you got stuff on PS2, like, feel free to send stuff my way.
Oh, the PS2. Oh no.
Try another one, maybe.
Oh, I'll go for like PS1, Dreamcast, and Genesis. Stuff like that.
Mostly on the PS2, I did a lot of racing games, but I've had my fair share of bootleg shovelware I played.
Down I go.
Ooh. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, they're annoying.
Water spouts activated.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Did you do that by accident?
My stream wigged out a bit there. Oh, we're good now.
Sure. Don't look down.
Chiefing your business on behalf of my erstwhile professional associate there. Feels good to be working together with that one again. You tell him I said.
You again. Let's see how strong you really are. Hit me. Go on. What a joke.
What? Jesus.
That's Nemesis.
I didn't know you had to deal a certain amount of damage in a certain amount of time. Jeez. That's close. Thorough. It's a PS2 game. What?
What now?
Have you ever heard of a movie called Zathura before?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, apparently they had a PS2 game on it.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me too much. That was during the time when licensed movie tie-in games were a big thing. Zathura was basically Jumanji in space.
And I loved it. Okay, it looks like it takes 3 hours to beat. That makes sense.
For me.
Oh,
I call upon the moon and draw
now that's an interesting track record they got there.
has become an obstacle. She sometimes flies across my path, thus startling my steeds. I am the Eye of Night, yet cannot see much worth in her at all. Look forth. Dark side.
Oh my god.
We love our fans. They just keep coming back, no matter what. This song's called Coral Crown.
smite them.
Wow. Nice.
That was awkward. There.
Okay, I guess the PS2 had a lot more games than I thought.
Oh yeah, it was a
Because
big console.
Well, I guess I only thought they released 1,000 games. Turned out I was wrong. by
Oh
4
no,
times the
no.
amount. Crap, this is gonna be really hard to see if I can find the games I used to play.
Very well.
Anubis too. Oh no, that's data design.
To firmer ground. Look for the markers.
This is a might go back to Tekken Tag.
I never played the first, but I always wanted to.
It's good. It's so good. Like, if you ever play Tekken 3, it is just basically a better version of that.
I remember when Tekken 5 included all 3 versions of Tekken, just like on the disc.
Oh yeah. And then Tag 2.
They don't do that.
And then Tag 2 had like all the DLC in one. Basically all the DLC in one. Because they had like so many characters that would nowadays be DLC.
I kinda want like another tag tournament game, but I don't think that will ever happen.
It depends, really, because considering the track record, Tag 2 came after Tekken 6. And it was basically just a more, like, polished version of that. So, you know, if Tekken 9 comes out and we don't get a tag tournament, then at that point it is going to be dead in the water. But yeah, Tekken Tag 2 has, like, it didn't do too well when it was selling, but over time it's gotten, like, it's become this, like, big deal. Like, a lot of people really enjoy it. It does have some issues, like, it has built-in delay input.
It does?
Oh, it does, absolutely. Like, if you ever play the PS3 version, it's... Oh god, you can really tell. It's like, oh man, it feels like but it's like, you're supposed to feel like you're playing online. Yeah, because when you play online, it matters. But when you play on, like, single-player mode and everything, no, you can definitely feel it. It sucks. But it's too, I think... Tekken Tag 2 to Tekken, I think, is what the Mortal Kombat trilogy is to Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
Like, essentially, it's not the best, but it has so much to it.
Because I played a little bit of Tag Tournament 2, and all I saw was they really beefed up customization only in the way of, like, customization on whatever type of emblem you want to make. But overall, like, customization was kind of lacking or very, very hard to obtain because you needed so much money. I calculated, like, how long it would take me because I was only earning, I think, 5,000 coins for matches while playing Treasure Battle. It would take me so long just to buy a shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, Tekken 6 was in the same line, too. Like, if you wanted some special, like, designs, like, stuff like halos and whatnot, it would cost, like, 1,000,000 coins.
But there was one thing that Tekken 6 did have, which was its campaign mode, and also, equipment you could, equip to your characters, which had special stats and boosts. So one, it can help you get through it quicker, and also earn you more money. Not the best way, but at least it's something.
I don't know about... Okay, Tekken 6 I like a lot for the combat and the endings and even the visuals. Like, I think to this day, Tekken 6 is still one of the most beautiful games, like, you can see on Tekken. But the scenario campaign is... It's...
Look, I know it's bad.
It's an interesting story that is marred by... Basically, its execution being... Okay. Just talking and talking and talking. Like, yeah, Lars getting amnesia and traveling with Elisa, and Jin throwing a war to take out Azazel and the Devil Gene and everything. Like, that's interesting. but it is. I signed up to play a fighting game, not watch a visual novel.
I also don't know if I agree with Jin's choices. Like, he started a war. He literally was killing people, and he's like, don't worry, my ends will justify my means eventually. You are killing so many people.
Yeah, like, for a long time, people consider Tekken 6 to be character assassination for Jin, because he went from this character that was, like, grew up in hardships, trained by his grandfather, and then shot by him, and then sort of went on his own thing, did his own thing, and then just all of a sudden, yeah, now I'm waging war and killing people. Tekken 7 at least showcased that he, like, regretted his actions and was more than willing to accept atonement for it, and Tekken 8 was his redemption story. That's what I like most about it, was that it didn't just sweep it under the rug. It didn't just go, well, everything that happened around the war, that didn't happen. No, that happened, and yeah, it very much is like there's blood on his hands, and he's gotta have to live with that.
Which they also even acknowledge within even its new DLC they added.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. Oh my god. Okay. This happened the other day, and it was one of the funniest things ever. So the other day, I was playing Tekken 8 story mode, because it was like, alright, so they got a new, like, episode up for Heihachi and everything. I want to see how it goes. Honestly, pretty decent story. I was just like, I think the one thing I said at the end of it was just like, oh, that's it? Because it was just, it ended on nowhere. It was just like, oh, okay. I guess I'm gonna have to wait till episode 3 or something, whenever they want to release another patch. Or I guess Tekken 9, whenever. But...
yeah. Like, I got past it pretty quick, and I'm like, well, how are they gonna wrap this up pretty quick? And it's like, they pull a Spider-Verse on you.
Yeah, they pull a Mr. Burns in some way, where essentially in the same way, like Mr. Burns was is just this evil rich guy, and one episode I remember they gave him amnesia and made him a really nice person, and then Lisa goes to show him just what kind of person he was, and then immediately he remembers everything and changes back. That's kind of what they did, where it was just like they were leading like, oh, Heihachi's a changed person with amnesia. Hits his head on a fucking meteorite, and goes, yeah, I'm back, and I'm gonna kill everybody, and I'm the king of Iron Fist Tournament. I was like, oh, wow. Fuck Buddhist Heihachi, I guess.
I mean, I already thought it was kind of stupid, because I'm like, you're really trusting the guy. You know, the guy who has been pretty much unkillable throughout this entire franchise, and you want him to do this one task. Like, you couldn't find anyone else. Alright.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's interesting, but it also does feel like sort of an easy write out to, alright, we know people want Heihachi back, we're just gonna give him back Heihachi. Which I'm not gonna lie, I think I would have been more interested to see him as a monk. Like, I see him as sort of this new like rebirth character. Like, sort of in some ways like how like Kazuya like started out as just kind of wanting revenge on Heihachi for everything, and that was kind of what the first two stories of in Tekken were to do it. But the thing with Kazuya's story is like when he was thrown off a cliff, he got reborn into a person who wanted vengeance on his father and a literal devil. When the same thing happened with Jin. Like, Jin had this life devoted to enacting revenge on Ogre and wanting, like, payback for his mom. Heihachi killed him, and he turned into this... He just turned into this character that sort of abandoned the Mishima family style and just sort of wanted to tie more to his roots of his mom. But... I don't know, I was just like, I thought, you know, just Heihachi as just a different kind of character in that way, I thought would have been interesting, but now we got what we got.
That's unfortunately how it works. But, well, I don't know. I'm not a game developer, so I can't tell you if it was a good or a bad decision.
Yeah.
But I do agree. A Buddhist Heihachi would sound pretty dang good.
Yeah. But yeah, I play through it. I'm playing through it, and it was around like the second mission. It was either sometime before or after Eddie fights Nina, and I get somebody coming. Cause I'm in our Discord server, and I'm like, I get somebody coming in, and they're like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And I'm just like, "Oh, I'm just playing Tekken." "Oh, what's Tekken?" And I'm just like, Are you fucking? I'm just thinking, are you fucking with me? Like, do you not know what Tekken is? Like, you seriously not know what Tekken is? And I'm just thinking, okay, wait, hold on. I got my head too far up my own ass. Like, dial it back. Probably lives under a rock. And I'm like, all right, okay, well, Tekken is just, it's just a fighting game. It's like, oh, fighting game. What do you do in it? And I just like paused for like 10 straight seconds to let it sink in. A fighting game, huh? What do you do in it? Oh my fucking god.
I mean, the options are limitless.
Thank you for the encouragement, Echo.
Oh man.
Thank you, Echo.
A deep ravine within the field.
They won't budge. Flourish.
Oh, whoa. Oh no! So when you try to pick up a resource, everyone tries to attack you?
Yep!
Oh damn. They're punishing me just because I made a choice, damn it. Oh my god.
All right.
Oh my god, you're almost dead.
Tucked away.
Uh-oh.
Greater focus.
It was very, very close.
Been rolling around in miasma, have you?
Oh, what? What happened to Cerberus? No!
Yeah, welcome to Hades 2. Everything is sad.
No! Oh, gee. Oh, Jesus Christ! No, I see you really gotta time it.
Damn it!
Oh, that barely did anything. My god, he has the whitest hitboxes.
This isn't who you are.
Oh my god.
Can't do this again.
the farthest I've got with the blades with this one. Alright, so switching over to the axe.
Cerberus just doing his job.
Hey,
Jesus Christ.
you've inspired me to float right here for the time being.
Okay.
When you and I first met, you were searching for the Fates, but you discovered me among the shadows. I can navigate back to the crossroads that way, but you can go farther?
I can, yes. I'm from the deepest reaches of the underworld, where there exists no light at all. The chasm from which all creation sprang a while back.
I suppose even if one knew the Fates resided in such a place, they might still prove difficult to find.
Difficult, though not impossible as we now know.
Such a
Here comes
mess.
trouble. You really want to know the way things used to be, Trouble? Think about everything that gets you to come out of your tent night after night. Gets you fired up. What comes to mind?
Sure. Those I care about are counting on me. And I wish to learn. To grow strong in body, mind, and spirit.
Inspiring. Now imagine having everything you want. So you're left wanting nothing at all.
No, I can't imagine that. So everyone besides you was self-indulgent and unmotivated. But now the roles are reversed, I suppose.
You don't get it. Fine.
Must be an incantation that can help. Great Mother Gaia, listen to my heart's desire. It is done. Essences of shadow to the surface rise. This'll take a little while. Could use
The
this.
Bible game. What do you mean the Bible game?
The Bible game.
Oh, it's just a trivia thing? Oh, only on the Old Testament too? Come on, I want to have the New Testament. In the Game Boy Advance version, players explore different maps searching for demons. When the player finds one, they must hit the demon with their Bible.
You said we all should get what we deserve, right?
Well, that's the thing. If you knew anything about mortals, they had it better once, when Kronos ruled. Called it the Golden Age.
How splendid that must have been for them. If only Kronos could have been so generous with his sons and foster children. You think him being somewhat nice to some mortals makes up for what he did?
No. Look, what if this is what we deserve?
We deserve better than this, Nemesis. Living in shadows, denied our families. Don't you want justice for them? Fine.
You have this.
Have you caught Eris snooping through our plans or anything? Have to be even more discreet with her about.
She stays over in her little corner mostly, Goddess, but I've been keeping my eye on her in case of anything. As long as she undermines our efforts well out of earshot.
We can plan around it, you mean?
Aye.
How about... Excellent. Find the Titan, slay the Titan. Queen Hera.
You must.
The sacred bond. Gently now. You dare. Out with you all. Some bones for later use.
Wait, there was a Code Geass video game? I didn't know that.
Found you.
If it was back on the PS2, I imagine either it did not release in America or it sucked.
Yeah, it only released in Japan.
Yep. Bleach has a like a lot of people are talking about the Bleach fighting game that Bandai's coming out with, I think, or CyberConnect, whichever. But yeah, Aiden came out with a full series of Bleach fighting games back on the days of the PSP. But it only released in Japan.
Damn.
Yep. This one is one of like the only official like Bleach fighting games.
Hey, is it really true Moros himself showed up at your crossroads because you summoned him? As in, you literally invited?
Sadly, I know nothing of
It doesn't
Bleach.
seem the wisest course when you put it that way. Kronos once was
It's one of those
brought up by
shonen
prophecy of the
series
three
that
fates.
is just
I
going
thought they might
on
be
way
ready to
too
intervene
long.
again.
I don't know how many.
And they did so.
That
How
was
long is-
honestly, I think that was Naruto.
Unforeseen consequences.
Bleach,
Tavern store? You're going to need this.
it gets better the older you get, but then the last season is very much like the problem is more so regarding its like writing being very repetitive.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh, it ended.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Bleach
still
ended. Bleach ended a long time ago. It's only until recently that they decided to make an anime out of the last arc.
Huh.
Olympus, I accept
Like,
this
I knew
message.
of all, like, the shonen series, but I was just like, hey, Dragon Ball was appearing. I had no idea what it was, and I just kind of stuck with it. I watched GT first. That was my introduction to Dragon Ball.
Let's go. I'm so sorry.
By my father's name.
I finally watched the original eventually. Oh.
Got you.
Oh, now that's a game I remember. Crash Tag Team Racing.
Oh boy, that takes me back.
remember that so long ago.
My strength reborn.
I could never beat the game when I was younger because I sucked at it so much.
To be fair, a lot of those older racers, I hardly remember. There are more ones that, like, sucked altogether, as opposed to ones that were genuinely decent racers.
Well, it was funny, Crash Tag Team Racing, because all you had to do was, if you were just playing the single-player campaign, you just had to hop onto your opponent's car, and you don't even have to race. You could just be the shooter. It didn't have to matter if they were on your team or not, and that's how I won half the races. It was so easy. And then it's like, oh shit, I can't do that now? Oh crap.
I appreciate it, truly. Goodbye for now.
Oh. I'm just gonna skip past that. I was like, huh, this game kind of looks interesting. Looks at the developer. Oh no.
Fine work as always.
Oh, there's Dead or Alive 2 for the PS2. Despicable Me the game? What?
That was most likely around one of the last games that came out for the PS2.
2010? Probably.
Yeah, that was probably one of the last games. Maybe.
Very interesting to release it on a platform.
Because
2010.
Because Sony at the time kept like the PS2 around for quite a bit.
I think it was like till 2015, maybe?
I wouldn't go so that far. I think it might have been around 2011 or 2010 that they actually really started to back off on like releasing games for the PS2 because they wanted to gear more towards the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Portable.
For safekeeping.
I just remember they kept one console alive with a lot of games. I might just be thinking though of Just Dance for the Wii. They released so many Just Dance games for the Wii. And I'm like, why? The Wii is so old by this point. Yeah, it looks like the Despicable Me game is pretty bad from the looks of it.
I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of those movie tie-in games and whatnot are very, like, they don't live up to it, up to being really good or anything. I don't remember any of them really being all that great, honestly.
How fares the goddess of the hunt? By now, these woods must feel a second home to her.
Like, it kind of depends. Like, if you're going for, like, a very satisfying loop, yeah, you're probably not going to get that. Would you have a game that you'd probably play once and enjoy? Maybe.
Good. She, Selene, you and I have all prepared for this contingency, and now 'tis time we shine. Particularly you and I right now.
Oh no. I hate this fucking game. Disney's Chicken Little.
Oh boy.
This game... I could never beat it. I remember me and my brother played it. And it was one of the most unforgiving games we've ever played.
Yep.
It had actually pretty favorable reviews.
Bathe in flame.
I just remember it being really, really bad. But maybe that was just me. Oh, and the Finding Nemo video game. Swim for all the rings.
Now beware.
Oh, and the Incredibles video game. Nice.
That one
I hate all of them.
That one I remember being like mid, but still.
Well, I played it recently because I was kind of curious. And it is so frustrating. So what you have to do is, like the first boss of the game, you just have to throw one grenade at a helicopter. Sounds fine. You have to first dodge their entire attack sequence, which takes like a minute and a half, and then you get to throw the bomb. If you miss, you gotta do that all again. And you have to do that 6 times in total. It's a 10-minute boss fight.
Should work.
And later on, you could get into 30-minute boss fights. Like, Jesus Christ.
Air's thick.
So much waiting.
Clarity. See that one, Tula? It's over. The gutter knows.
What's really me?
Forgive me, Queen Hera. I need to calm her down. Those spots again.
We've made enough enemies already that we hardly need more.
Oh, and there's all the iToy games.
Get in line. I was here. Come on. Right.
Going. called? I see you.
It is yours. Recently, a daughter of Nyx entered my domain. Such is her likeness that I mistook her for her mother goddess at first. For many beings appeared similar to me. I shall permit her here.
Oh my god. You have 120 seconds to clear tree encounters? Or lose 500 health? What is wrong with these developers? There's one hell of a punishment.
Not a chance.
I remember playing my game when I was getting the Ford Racing degree.
My brother, like, legit, when I saw that game in the store, legit, took it out of my hands and just got me Jack 3.
Did he just hate racing games?
No, he didn't even say anything. He just took it out of my hands and gave me Jack 3.
Ever played the Jack series?
Yes,
so
sir.
I could not tell you if that was a good thing or a bad thing.
It's fun. The games are very reminiscent of the time periods they came out in. Jack 1 is very reminiscent of the fetch quest kind of storylines. Very much go from place to place, do this, do that, and yeah, beat the bad guy and get the girl. Jack 2, very much off the heels of Grand Theft Auto. Jack 3 was going for more of a Mad Max type deal.
That is actually quite interesting. Also, my god, 4 Full Metal Alchemist games?
Yep.
Jesus.
And they didn't really do all that well.
I wonder if there's a Full Metal Alchemist fighting game. For some reason, I just want to play only as Colonel Mustang. Fire!
If you count the DS game, then yeah.
Your choice.
Oh crap, hell yeah. I'll play it at some point. If I remember it.
Moonwater.
Together we shine. Tula, be my guest.
This is what I was looking for! A fighting game!
That's right. This is a stockfin.
What was it made by?
Bandai Namco.
It's PS2. Okay, what is it?
It's called Dream Carnival.
Oh, okay.
Don't know if it was ever released in America. But it does have cel-shaded textures. I do appreciate. Let's see, what has this company made?
What, Bandai or?
No, so the developer was someone called Ating.
Oh no, God, no, 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 no. Oh, immediate no. Oh God. Understand, their games are infamous for Cheese Central. It's, oh God. Like, if you ever see any, like, fighting game done by them on, like, the PSP or the PS2, oh, it is so bad. You have no idea. Like, it is so easy to do like, I brought up the Bleach fighting games and the whole series. Yeah, Bleach Heat the Soul was done by Ating, and the balance in it is so shit. Like, oh my God, the movement is shit. The, like, just, it is, and just like, again, the balance, the damage characters do, it just, it's not a good time. Trust me on that. Like, if you said something like, Okatron, Spike and Chunsoft, CyberConnect, you know, I would say, okay, that's fine. But aiding, oh god, like, that's an immediate pass.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, then that means I gotta check it out.
You can try it, but I guarantee you will most likely be, what the fuck? What the fuck is this game?
Probably. Oh my god, you get to play as win rate? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay, but it was only released in Japan.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, now I'm kind of curious to see what they rated at it.
Like, legitimately, like, if you could find a game that's done by, like, Arc System Works, or, like, CyberConnect, or Spike and Chunsoft, like, those guys back in the day made some pretty decent games. Like, for instance, I think CyberConnect worked on the Budokai Tenkaichi games. A lot of people really love about those.
Reeks in here. Which one would help?
Yeah, I ask you, like, fighting game, mid-2000s, who is it made by? And you say Bandai Namco, I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then you say aiding, I'm like, oh, okay, the immediate no.
An even trade.
Yeah, sorry. I wanted to be honest. Guess I shouldn't have done. I could have tricked you. The AI is a bit dumb and easy, with the exception of the final boss, which is the hardest and unforgiving boss in the entire game.
That sounds aiding, alright. That sounds aiding, alright. Goes from either really simple and easy, like, fights, to ungodly difficult. That and the movement in a lot of their games just sucks. It feels like you're moving with... It feels like you're moving on, like, rails.
Oh. Well, that's
not like rails like you have... Not like in certain games where it's just... Not like Tekken kind of like, oh, you're moving with rails. No, it's very much like... Rails that are electronically powered, but there's no battery. So you have to move it with your own feet. Like, just feeling like the resistance and actually having to push to make things work. It feels, trust me, it feels bad. Like tank controls? Yeah, except every character moves like a tank, regardless of their skill set. That's one of the things.
Wow, that is a really small character roster size for a 2-on-2 fighter.
Oh yeah, that's also another thing. Yeah, like aiding got by simply because their games were tied to licenses. Like, that's a big thing.
Oof.
Like just about every game that they've done games with Bleach. They've done games with Fate. They've done quite a bit of like fighting games over the years with licensed titles, and that's what's carried them. But yeah, like among the FGC, aiding is one of the most like not infamous, but notoriously bad companies that worked with like game programming.
Really? Because it seems like they also developed Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Or they worked with it.
Yeah, they worked with it, and that game is Touch of Death Central.
That is so true.
Yeah. That's a big part of Like how there's a new Hunter x Hunter game called Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact. Like early access footage made it look like, oh yeah, this is very like Maximilian Duke quote said this feels like very aiding movement.
Oh, Nen Impact?
Yeah.
Oof. I've seen some gameplay from it, but I thought it was developed by Arc System Works.
Yeah, they are pretty big to the point where now they're publishing games, or at the very least tied to games. So they might have people who worked at aiding working on this. It might be in collaboration. But yeah, it was early access, so there's only hope for that the game actually improves later down the line, but even so.
Mm. Jeez.
Mourners. That chaos curse of mine is finally gone.
Oh, you must have visited the springs once more. It's that refreshing glow about you, love.
Queen Lamia herself. Ready, Helma? Life. Hear me, on my authority. Getting warmer. Echo!
Oh, Gran Turismo 4. Oh, how I remember you.
Oh, that was a good game.
I remember how it broke on us halfway through our save. That was an unfortunate day.
Dude, just the main menu music alone, bro.
It's really nice. It's very satisfying to listen to. I just really wonder, did anyone really complete those, like, what, 24, 48 hour challenges where you just drive straight?
I don't know about that. Like, dude, I had enough trouble, like, getting a driver's license in that game. The amount of times I have heard that failure song, just the... I don't know why Gran Turismo picked that for the failure song, but it...
What can we say?
Flourish and reveal my path.
I just never played another Gran Turismo game after 4, and from what I hear, it has a very interesting track record now.
Yeah. Gran Turismo... I will say this. Gran Turismo 5, I played the prologue. One of the best openings I've ever played. Like, you have to unlock every, like, car. And, like, that was the thing I liked about multiplayer in Gran Turismo 4, is that you could just go in with anything. But...
Yep.
5 prologue, you had to unlock everything. That was the unfortunate truth. And then I was like, alright, so now I want to get Gran Turismo 5. Oh boy, that was like one of the quickest returns I've ever done. It is...
Really?
It wasn't even that it was bad, it was that it just would not run.
Oh.
I had it on the PS3, and I was like, oh man, it's so cool, I'm gonna be able to play some Gran Turismo 5. The game was like, alright, so we just need, like, if you give us a minute, we'll be able to, like, load in our assets, and we need to update and everything.
Oh, wait, I think I've heard about something of a similar story before.
The game, like I kept it loaded, and it was for an hour. Like, not even close to being finished. It wasn't even barely out of, like, the 3% mark. And I was just like, alright, you know what? It's, like, late. I'm just gonna, like... I'm just gonna let it run overnight. At that point, it should be ready to go, or at least close to ready to go, right? So yeah. I let it sleep overnight. Wake up. Has not even budged. So I'm like, okay. Alright, this looks bad, but I like this series, I want to play it. So you know what? I'm gonna go out, get some groceries, let this run. Go out, get some groceries, come back. Still hasn't budged. And I'm like, alright. I'm patient. So I'm just gonna let this run all day. Let it run all day. Next day I wake up, my PS3 had to shut down because of overheating. So I cool it off, I let it cool down, turn it back on, and it's right back to where I started. I never got a chance to even look at the opening or anything. And I went back to the store, like, yeah, I gotta return this shit.
2 down.
That really blows.
Gran Turismo 6 was here or there. I don't really hear too many people. To be fair, this was definitely when... It definitely came out during the time when, like, simulator racers were really starting to die down. Like, it came out during a time when racing games were really starting to die down in general. But, yeah, not too many people. And then Gran Turismo 7, I remember being excited for that. And then it coming out, and now I don't really think, I don't really know too many people who are actually excited for this. I know, like, one dude in particular is, like, a complete autophile, just obsessed with Gran Turismo, to the point where he made himself, damn, that sucks, yeah, to the point where he made himself out to be some sort of superhero.
What?
I'm not kidding, it's... Like, I don't generally like to get in the way of people's happiness and everything. Like, I've been in some servers and I met some people who, the role-playing was a big thing. It's just like, yeah, look, if it works for them, fine, but I'm not for it. But, it's really cringy. It is really cringy. He's off, he frames everything he does in the game like it's real life. Like, he makes these whole Discord posts just like, oh man, he like drives like cars in Gran Turismo, and it's just like he has these fictional conversations with their friends. Oh man, what happened to insert car here? Oh, I unfortunately crashed it. Like the car you gave me, the car that you worked so hard on and everything, the car that's like a second child to you. I unfortunately crashed it and blew it up on the track in the video game. It's like, you know what? That doesn't matter. What matters most is that you're okay. It's just like And he has done that type of story multiple times, and it's just like, just once, I want to hear one of these stories where a motherfucker just goes off on him to the point of hitting him. Just because like, dude, you crashed somebody's car that they apparently cared so much about. This is coming from somebody who has family obsessed with cars more so than their own family. Yeah, I did, like, let me give you a story. This was, like, my oldest brother, like, I got to, I needed a car to get to work, and I was borrowing his because he was out of the country and wasn't even using his. And then I gave him a thank you present for letting me use his car so that I wasn't late to work and that I didn't get fired. And he blamed every single issue of the car on me. He blamed everything. He didn't even, like, bother to understand my situation or anything. He blamed everything on me. It was just like it was so fucking infuriating. And then he started lying about shit that never happened, or like making shit up just to make himself look better and more pitiful. Yeah, like, see, I look at shit like that and I'm just like, yeah, I just once, I want you to come across one of those people. Like, just have a story around that. I mean, if you're going to fake it, right, at least have, like, a story like that. At least that would be more interesting. Because constantly having a story where it's just, like, you're apparently the super driver or whatever you want to call yourself, and going out of your way to, like, make every single time you race in a game and whatnot being, like, this epic, like, superhero story and whatnot, and then apparently crashing your friend's car multiple times. It's just like, dude, here's the thing too. He says it's like a veteran superhuman driver and enthusiast, but but there's a number of stories where he just keeps crashing cars. It's just like, are you really him? Are you really him?
He's a veteran at crashing. Oh my god. That is literally so insane to hear.
Yeah. I know I'm talking shit about someone that didn't sign up for it, but Jesus fucking Christ.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but oh my god. It just sounds so silly and stupid. It sounds like something I would make up.
Like, if here's the thing, if it was, like, genuinely, like, you were doing, like, a skit or something, you know? Probably. But, like, the dude has a full, like, the dude has a full platform where he pulls himself off as, like, this, just, like, a driver for, a driver amongst, like, all drivers, like, a king of kings when it comes to racing, and it's, like, eh.
Go find your master now.
Like, I honestly would think it, and here's the thing, too, the thing that irks me the most about it is that it's Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo. He's not a racer for the Grand Prix or anything. He's not a racer for Formula 1. He's not a racer for NASCAR. He's not even a racer for the Demolition Derby. It's Gran Turismo. Like, that'd be like me saying I'm a master of romance. Watch me play Persona. It's like, dude, there is a difference between it being a master of romance and looking up walkthroughs on YouTube.
Jesus.
Or me saying I'm a master at Yu-Gi-Oh! And then using insert newest deck that honestly is great at power creep, or just Exodia.
I mean,
you know,
yeah,
the deck that where you get all 5 cards, you just automatically win. I know sometimes people gotta put on like a persona or like an act, sometimes just to get in the mood or hype themselves up. But there is a fine line between getting into the meat of things and theater.
Like,
I'm talking method acting theater. Like Jim Carrey method acting theater.
He just wanted to be that guy, though.
I mean, the spirit of this actor the spirit of this person that I'm acting as ultimately came to me and possessed me and told me to do all this stuff. Jim Carrey has some good performances, and I even think some good comedy. But yeah, there are some things where it's just like he's a little nuts, just a little.
Fine though. Everyone's crazy in this world. Or sometimes people just play it way too safe, and it's
Celebrities are fucking weird.
They did get popular for a reason.
Cerberus, look who it is. He is no mere titan. He is time itself. And time cannot be stopped.
He said the trailer line! He said it!
Go. Fear not for me.
I shall return.
Yeah, I don't really remember there being a genuinely... He said the thing! I don't remember there genuinely be like a genuine good game. Like, since, like, we were talking Gran Turismo 4, I'll even say, like, Need for Speed, back when EA was genuinely worth the games that they were putting out. Like...
Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go. Like, the only Need for Speed game I remember really enjoying, besides Most Wanted from 2005,
yeah,
was maybe, I think it was Need for Speed Carbon.
Oh, dude, hell yeah! I love Need for Speed Carbon. Like,
it had some of the most solid drifting.
Oh yeah, it definitely gameplay-wise, like, I love it so much. Story-wise, I thought it was okay until I heard that they cut out a lot of stuff. Like,
that is...
They essentially, like, where Most Wanted back in the day had this campiness to it that had, like, it was both charming and, like, enjoyable for that. Carbon really wanted to take itself more seriously and get rid of that, even though there were definitely signs where, yeah, there could have been some campiness to it. I don't know. I really feel like they could have just kept in the campiness.
Well, I think the problem was also EA's schedule, because they gave, like, the developer Credion Games, I think that's how I say it. I might have butchered it. But basically, they wanted the yearly release model.
Yeah, yep.
And they were being worked to the fucking bone.
Yeah.
And it sucked. They made so many good games, and EA is just like, well, hey, that's great. I need another one by next quarter.
Yeah, they... Like, the 2000s were a good age for EA, and then by the rise of 2010s or so, they really started to fall off.
Because, I mean, why it worked originally was simple. Because games were very cheap to make back then, and, well, they weren't exactly the fastest. You didn't have to, like, take a lot of time to really, like, care about all the graphics and stuff, because the technology was still being developed. But nowadays...
Yeah,
well,
like, I mean, we nowadays, we have, like, horror stories like Halo 2 crunch. Like, yeah.
I think the problem nowadays is back then, games were just kind of made with like, okay, we'll make it to like main story, we'll add a few content in there, but it's not like the game is there. It could just be played for however long it needs to. Like they weren't going for like the longest game.
No.
Nowadays, pretty much everyone wants the endless game.
Yeah. Every AAA like game dev wants to have games with hundreds of hours, but also have it last like X amount of years by constantly updating it and whatnot.
Which is an insane deadline, especially when they just keep upcharging every single game, or sometimes they just they don't even release a finished quality project the first time around.
Oh yeah, like since I think the 2010s, it's become more prevalent of games being released as half-baked projects and then being updated as years go on, where it can be more of a cohesive product. Like I know No Man's Sky, for instance, started off basically being a scam, where it was promised as this like it was promised as this like big like masterpiece of a game where you could do all these great things and everything. It was going to be a fully polished, fully fleshed out, and fully done game. And oh boy, when it first came out, it was far from the truth. So many updates, so many crashes. And now, I mean, it's a good game, but there is no denying how launch went.
Oh yeah. Same also happened for quite a lot of the PC ports as well.
Yeah.
So I think a good example was like Arkham Knight. Like a lot of people love it now, but when it was first released, it was one of the literal worst ports ever. It was so disastrous.
Yeah.
I think it took them like 6 months to fix it. I mean, hey, the game works now. I think the problem just is they task developers on doing so much when it's like there is just not enough time.
Yeah.
A lot of studios like to rush out projects anyways, and they don't like to take a lot of time.
Yeah.
I guess because fans are almost always disappointed with everything. Like,
well, specifically like terminally online fans and whatnot, and people who don't really have a sense of empathy for that like side of the video game industry. Specifically the development side. And yeah, it's just like there has been talk about this where it's like, yeah, because of essentially what the fans will put on like developers and everything, like it ultimately has gotten to a point where crunch has become sort of culturized to being like overworking, stressing out your developers, underpaying them, and having them stay at like the offices and whatnot till the game is done, regardless of how short the deadlines are, is a good thing when it really isn't.
I haven't much right now.
Especially, a big problem is how sometimes companies like to overpromise. Like even besides what the developers might say, because whatever expectations they tell their audience, the problem is now that expectation is set upon the audience, where it's like you can't talk down a product. You have to just keep going up and up and up and up.
Yeah. Like I think one of the most recent examples I can think of that come off to my head is Overwatch 2. Oh, it had a lot of big promises when it was coming out. Like I remember PvP being a big thing, and ooh, yeah, that's aged like milk.
Neither can he.
It is, man. It's just Overwatch 1.5.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we have no idea what happened within its development cycle to even see
and also it is Blizzard. Kind of feel like we should have seen. The signs were there. We probably should have seen this coming. But yeah, like, I mean, back in the day when it came to, like, Electronic Arts, I mean, honestly, from my perspective, when it came to Need for Speed, like, 4 games in particular come to mind for, like, when the series was peak. And that is Underground 1 and 2, and Carbon and Most Wanted. The original. Dude, Underground 2 has one of the best open worlds in a racing game, just period.
I don't know if it's the best, but I will say it definitely does have a lot of content within it.
Yeah, it's not the best, but it definitely is one of the best. Cause like like the game has a heavy influence on like the open world, and the way they did that was, hey, explore the world, and you get rewarded through like different locations you can unlock and whatnot. Like that, I think was really cool. That and just the customization, their focus on like making street racing and whatnot kind of an actual thing where you can become a celebrity by doing promo deals and so on. Like it felt like a life sim in a lot of ways, but also like its focus on street racing, I think, elevated it from essentially being kind of like what Forza does. Where it's like, it's not a bad game, but it is definitely still just a racing sim. It's a simcade.
Well, the problem with like Forza is it's way too like happy and friendly all the goddamn time that it feels like the only style it kind of appeals to is just like kids. Where it's just like, oh yeah, let's just keep on doing this all the time. Oh hey, look, there's a storm in the background. Oh my god, I almost just died. It feels fake because everyone's always just doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, I played Forza Horizon 4, and it's okay. I mean, I genuinely had like more fun exploring the world and coming across stuff like, hey, reports. We got some reports about like this car that's just been abandoned in a barn. Find it, and it's just one of these old classics. Like,
curses on you for invoking me.
Princess. You must know the 3 fates.
but I mean, like at the same time, it very much like the problem with a lot of racing sims and simcades is that they really try their best to emulate real life when it comes to the driving in the world, and while it looks beautiful, sure, is just like it makes me miss the days of Midnight Club 3.
Oh my god, a classic.
Yeah, like fuck the visual like fidelity, like fuck the realism, dude. You raced enough races in some clubs, you can unlock the ability for a muscle car to do shockwaves. You race enough races in a club, you can unlock the ability in like an exotic to slow down time and drive with precision. Race enough races in some clubs and you can unlock for SUVs and luxury sedans to basically be the Doom equivalent of literally Too Angry to Die. Like, there was so much stupid shit in Midnight Club 3 that it just looped around to being fun.
Because Midnight Club 3 was kind of centered on being like an arcade racer more than like a simcade racer, so it gave players a shit ton more freedom. Same with something like Burnout, where the whole premise is just like, you know, crash, do whatever the hell you want. You want to kill a bunch of people? Go do that. We won't say you did, but look at that total amount of damage.
To a lesser extent, I kind of feel like that was same with Flat Out for a bit. Like, Flat Out was very much a case of like, yeah, you race on some, you race on some off-road tracks, you race on some derbies and whatnot. Yeah, you get to do some crash courses. Hey, we got some daredevil stunts you can do where you literally just fucking go ragdoll and you just do stunts regardless of that. It was stupid. It was it had a variety of content, and it was just fun. And then they made Flat Out 3.
Well, there's an interesting story with Flat Out 3.
Oh yeah, it was done by Team 6.
Mm-hmm. They also made the best. What was it? The Fast and Furious Crossroads game. God.
They made a knockoff of Crazy Taxi.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's.
Got a little sidetracked after.
Sidetracked.
They're interesting developers in their own rights. Not in terms of quality, but in terms of whatever the hell they produced.
Yes, well, by the time I finally returned, I hardly recognized my son and my wife. We lived out our mortal days together, and that was enough. I reckon they're comfortable somewhere below.
You haven't seen them? What happened?
Penelope and I drifted apart. Happens with mortals sometimes. And it happens with shades, too. As for my son Telemachus, he's his own man. Such is life. Or death, as it turns out.
Yes.
I wonder how many unique voice lines they have for this game. Because,
a lot.
I remember I took like a college seminar on writing for video games, and we had to play through Hades as one of our assignments. And we just had to check how many voice lines we noted throughout the throughout our playthroughs. And then our teacher says, okay, so this is how many there actually are.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, like, stuff like that is very much, like, even without, like, being a video game developer looking into it, stuff like that is very much, like, I can see why they're taking this long. Like, the early access came out, like, I think, around the beginning of, like, either the beginning or the end, beginning of 2024, the end of 2023, and it's still in early access, and it's just, like, you can tell with the stuff that they're doing that, yeah, it is very much, like, you can see why they need more time to work on this.
You should never rush a project into development. It should always just, like, be released whenever they can.
Yeah.
But the problem is the public is way too hungry with wanting it to be released now.
That and the publishers as well. Like, because here's the thing too, I will bitch about, like, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero or Tekken 8, like, having, like, a lot of these microtransactions or DLC issues and whatnot, but I do not put that, I never put that on the developers. I don't put that on Harada and Team Tekken with Tekken 8. I don't put that on, like, CyberConnect or anybody working on Sparking Zero. I put that on Bandai. Like, the executives, the suits. Like, they don't give a shit about, like, what makes a fun video game. They just want profit.
Just like how Tekken 8 sold really well, but you know, it didn't sell enough DLC. So how can they maximize profit? Oh yeah, by adding in an item shop where they lock behind previous clothing from the previous games. And you have to pay for it.
Yeah, and definitely before they kind of, like, updated the shop, oh, it was the same problem as Street Fighter 6 and a number of games with the Money Coin Bundle, where if you want to be able to get those cool items, those one items you see, you have to pay far more than you really need to. And even then, with the Money Coin Bundle now, you still have to pay more than you should.
Yeah.
Like,
because I remember when...
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just remember when I played Street Fighter 6, when it was, like, first releasing, I was like, I really love this game. And then they released, I think it was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as characters, and I'm like, oh shit, are they actual characters? Well, they're cosmetic skins, and it's like, oh, okay. How much would that be? $10 each? And I'm like, $10? And then they released the Spy X Family one. Okay, fine. How much? $10
each.
For, yep, $10 each. But they're only avatar cosmetics. They're not like character cosmetics. So it just sucks even more because they're limited time. And you can't even fucking use them when you're actually playing ranked matches or anything. It sucks. Like, all I want out of a game is just to, well, have fun, but I know that's not exactly what the developers exactly want. Or, I'm sorry, not the developers.
Kind of the publishers.
They want you to grind on these games, spend so much money. And it gets to the point of insulting. Like, what I, like, sorry, I'm stuttering a lot.
No, it's fine.
Something like Dead or Alive 6, it has so much DLC. But I wanted to see how much it would actually cost to, like, get all of it, because there was a sale going on. To get everything, it has 4 season passes, each costing $90 each. But hey, don't worry, they got it on discount. It's only $35 each. That is almost $100+ you're spending.
Yeah.
If you've already bought the game, because you have to like buy the core fighters and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And what's even better is, even if you have all 4 of those season passes, you still have to buy 7 more separate DLC packs because they don't come like in a bundle or anything. So that's another $80. You are spending $180 to get kind of like the full experience of the game.
It's not as often that I see familiar
It all depends on what you personally think is worth it, but to me, I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
That's ludicrous. I wouldn't spend $180 on a game I just dislike.
Yeah.
But some people would.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for fuck's sake, I mean, like, Arc System Works, like, had 2 versions of, like, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle come out. The base game and the special edition, which comes with everything, like all the art characters and everything. The base game is $20 and the special edition is $40. Now, I 100% believe it was something around the lines of $60 when it came out, but I mean, nowadays, like, that is, it's absolutely a steal. And the fact that, like, it goes on sale, like, the special edition goes on sale for, like, $20 every holiday season, like, it's definitely a steal, and I can definitely tell you from experience, a lot of people will start showing up and playing it.
The barrier's lost some of its strength.
Yeah. The only problem I had was one of my friends I tried to play cross tag with said that it's like, I can't use some of the DLC characters. And I'm like, didn't you buy the special edition? And it's like, no, it was too much, so I just bought the base edition.
Yeah, and the game doesn't let you play with people who just have the base edition if you have the special. I've noticed that too.
And yeah, it really sucks.
Yeah. Again, I've said this before, but I always stick with that game because I made a fucking music mod, modding almost every single goddamn song in that game.
But I mean, like, I still love cross tag. I mean, I think it really helped me, like, enjoy it. Because it's like, at first, I didn't really enjoy it, but then it's like, when I started playing it, like, against you in some matches, I'm like, yeah, I actually kind of really enjoy it. Because it has a really fun system to get into. It's just, damn, the player base is just, it's sad. They have all these lobbies and no one uses them.
Yeah, like, the only time I will see lobbies being used is on Switch and PlayStation 4. The lobbies where the lobbies that you have to pay to use. More so I've noticed when it comes to cross-tag on PC, people will kind of just log on to cheat. Like, I will see people show up with duplicate character teams. Like, some motherfucker will show up thinking it's funny on a casual online lobby to go Blitz Tank and Blitz Tank, which, mind you, is a literal fucking tank in the game.
Yeah.
Doing that twice, and you can't do that in game. And it's just like, look, if you're in a private lobby and you're with your friends, I don't care. But if you're going online casual lobby with people who, in a game where it's like, the lobbies are kind of dead already, that's where I'm just like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, it sucks.
The main problem of just art in general, impatience. Yep. I mean that and artificial intelligence, the constant predatory practices of certain businesses, the fact that it's a business that more so is not as financially beneficial as some people would like it to be. Case in point, and essentially that
Bronze.
essentially all that, yeah. But mostly, yeah, it's impatience.
Yeah, or it takes a lot of time. I respect people who can really like perfect it. I don't like AI art.
God, it's so terrible. I have always been an advocate for the tech is good as a tool for assisting artists, and that's it. The problem with it, and anybody who hasn't, I would recommend you go watch like Pymations made a full video about like. Basically, it's like painting with prompts or whatever. It's a Bob Ross parody, where they essentially show you it's just like, oh yeah, AI art can be for anybody. All you just have to have is a high-speed internet connection. You have to have a subscription to an AI service, and basically all these prompts knowing what you're doing, and so on and so forth. But yeah, anybody can. Like the barrier of entry is for anybody.
And yeah, if the barrier for entry is literally so low, is it truly art at that point?
Yeah.
Because it kind of just seems like if everyone could do something, I wouldn't say it's particularly a skill that needs to be taught. I don't know.
Okay, here's the thing. Art's barrier entry is actually very minimal. Because all you need is, essentially, like, for example, if you want to draw, all you need is a surface and a utensil to write on. That's it. That's all you need. Like, you don't need to go the route of getting, like, a high-tech digital tablet to draw. You don't need the most expensive pencils or colored utensils or whatnot. You don't even need, like, all these different types of like brushes or paints and whatnot. No, legitimately, if you get some regular paper or even just a normal wall and a pencil or a marker, right? Essentially, like, that is more than enough to be an artist. The problem with AI art is not necessarily a barrier to entry. Well, that is a factor, but the problem with AI art is that it's being pushed for being on the same level as anybody with a pencil and a surface to draw on. where it's like anybody can be an artist, and it's just like, can they though? Like, because it's from the sounds of it, considering the fact that, you know, in order for AI to thrive, you have to pay for it. It's kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, kind of a privileged field to be in.
Because, I mean, it's a skill you learn. You feel like you acquired something. When you do it with AI, all you're doing is mostly, at best, being like someone who is professionally good at, like, critiquing art, like, I'm trying to think of a good thing. It's like being an art director, for example. Like, you know the vision you want to have, but you just can't exactly, like, put it on paper, so you tell another person to put it on paper.
Yeah.
I guess commissioning would be a better thing. You're commissioning a piece of technology to do the work for you. But you can't claim that you did it. The computer did it, not you. And even then, the computer is using its algorithms to, well, steal from other artists.
Yeah.
Because that's all it knows.
Yeah.
And I think the worst problem is, I've been trying to, like, get away from a lot of social media sites, because one post really pissed me off. How someone was charging money, like commissions, for AI art, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
I took a look at it. $29 a commission?
Yeah, and it's getting worse and worse. I am seeing modders in... I'm seeing the modding community being, like, popping up with people who do AI-generated photos, putting that as work. Like how I was in, like, Tekken mods the other day, and I saw, like, someone made, like, had this, there was this really good art of, like, Reina. Like, just a good portrait. I can send you a link to it, but there was somebody with the most obvious AI-generated profile picture. It's just like, hey, can you teach me how to do this? I will PayPal you and send you money. I have my own work. Out of curiosity, I tried looking them up. They don't have any Patreon. They don't have any Twitter or anything. There's no proof to showcase their art. I'm just like, yeah, you just use Stable Diffusion. You use Midjourney. That's all you fucking do.
Did you enjoy your nap? You said nobody took your eye before, as well as your sheep.
Yeah, it's...
How did you lose them then?
Nobody played a dirty trick on me as Al. What's the sailors thought they could...
It's a genuine problem, and, like, more and more I'm seeing, like, definitely things I think are starting to pull back, and finally I think there are things that are starting to be put in motion where AI art is starting to really leave in terms of being pushed, because now we're getting cases of AI quote-unquote artists having lawsuits because their work, in full quotation marks, is being stolen.
Yep.
It's like, sure it is. It just completely reminds me of that, like, because, like, apparently people who are so enthusiastic about AI art, like the AI art bros, will go out of their way now because, like, so many people in the art community, for good reason, are going to be pissed that just AI art ends up in, like, contests and everything.
Oh yeah, because that's a serious problem. The thing is, I think AI is a perfectly fine tool when you're not making money off of it, because, well, as it's said, like, in that Pimations video, you have to pay a subscription to, like, your favorite AI model if you're choosing.
Yeah.
When you're trying to make some profit off of something that's already something you have to pay for, you're trying to profiteer off of other people's hard work.
Yeah.
And that's dishonest. Completely.
And again, like, even with, like, the tools at hand, like, even if you are using AI, like the AI tech, you know what people who pay for your work really appreciate? They appreciate transparency. So if you're an artist and you go out of your way to say, hey, I looked up some AI art images and used that to take reference from that for like this shot and this shot, right? And you show your actual work and proof that, you know, despite you including AI photos, it's still your handiwork. Like, I think people above all else respect that. As opposed to the lengths people will go to where they will fake time lapses just to make themselves out look like on the same league of people like me.
I heard about that, faking time lapses.
Yeah,
AI video is also getting incredibly concerning with that. Like, the thing I had about, I think it was a year or two ago, like, I was seeing, like, AI art, because I was in a little bit of a depressive state, and I thought, like, wow, this stuff looks so much better than the stuff I can make. Because, yeah, sometimes we're, like, our own worst critics, and we always want to compete with, like, the level of other people.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that was made in, like, 4 seconds, and
yes.
I've seen thousands of images exactly like that.
Oh yeah.
Now I see this style and I'm like, why was I so concerned again? Because I mean, when you have a specific quote-unquote AI art style, it's the same style everyone else is using. It's not really unique. It's pretty much the exact same, but this time you wrote a different prompt.
Yeah. And it's like, the style is so fucking clear. Like, I will look at it and I'm just like, yo, I actually know what artist, like, has this particular style and made it work that you're stealing from. Scott, Star, that's why I use Hero Forge. I can't draw, I don't have the means to commission someone, so I have to learn how to use a substitute. The figs I make don't always come out like I wanted, but I have a reference. Yeah, well, I mean, you're using, like, essentially, I imagine you're using figure character creation. That's an entirely different case. Because at the very least, you're putting, even then, right? Like, if you were to tell me, hey, I make, like, I go into Soul Calibur and I have, like, character creations and I commission that. Well, at the very least, you put in effort. You put in time to create the character.
Yeah, I mean, if it helps you, like, understand how the character works, or sometimes you just want to make it because, well, it's too complicated, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody can do everything. Like, not everyone is an artist, not everyone is a video editor. The same reason why not everyone is a YouTuber. There's a level of commitment with everything.
Strengths and weaknesses are in all of us.
You just shouldn't compare yourself to other people and think that, oh, well, only if I could be like them. You just want to be your own person. And that's all you do.
And even then, like, it's inevitable that people are going to try and compare themselves to other people and go, I want to be just like them. But what's important is to essentially, like, there's a difference between wanting to be like them and then putting in years and years of work. I'll even say, like, days and weeks and months of work into projects and honing your craft. Because one is legitimately saying, man, one is essentially where AI art sits, and the other is where people like me sits. Because when I was growing up, I wanted to be like this artist and that artist. And then I started working more on my own work, and I've kind of formed my own style out of it. AI artists are very much, I want my work to look like this person, and full stop there. They just want the end result. They don't want the actual time it took to get to that point.
I mean, I understand it's a lot of a commitment, but if you don't enjoy the process, why do it? It's kind of like the same reason, like, if you want to be an animator, that's fine. but don't just get into animation for the final result, or else
Yeah,
you're
like-
setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, if you're going into animation, right, and you're disappointed because your work doesn't look like Hayao Miyazaki's work, well, then maybe try to piece together how long it takes for this stuff to actually work. To quote Lord Hater from Wander Over Yonder, animation is so hard. People who do this for a living deserve more credit and respect.
Yeah, exactly. Even simple like Disney shows as well take an insanely long time to be produced because, well, some people might see them as, oh, they're very simplistic. They look very easy to
Yeah,
animate.
the whole Cal Arts fucking argument, and it's just like the one thing I will give credit where it's due for a lot of like Western shows, even on Disney, is that from what I could tell and what I hear, is that it's very much released on a scheduled basis, but a lot of the work is done in advance. So very much like a case of like I think Hazbin Hotel was already announced for a television show like years in advance, and then years later it would come out with like its first season. So what that says to me is that they were that entire time they were working on it. It just took so long to get to that point. In comparison to what the East does, where they just churn this stuff out, one after another, after another, after another, sometimes in the same week.
Oh yeah, they have an insane crunch.
Yeah.
Because there are an insane amount of shows that don't look, well, we'll just say like Coward styled. Like, there are shows that don't look like that. It's just, those shows aren't always the easiest to make.
Yeah.
Also because it's a whole new style with a whole new different thing it's trying to go for. I think a good example is on Disney XD there was a show called Motor City.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It looks so different from frickin' everything else. It looks beautiful. And it was apparently even animated in Macromedia Flash. Quite impressive.
Yeah.
The problem is, it takes a long time, and, well, it just didn't get the popularity it needed. Mostly because that was because of, like, time slots, but, I mean, still, though. It takes a lot of time to make something really good.
Yeah.
Like,
that doesn't stop stuff with, like, their own particular art style coming into play. Like, I mean, Gumball, for instance, is a hybrid animation show because it takes a mixture of 2D animation and it goes with clay. It goes with clay animated puppets, sometimes live action, because there's a character in that series who is literally just the chin of a person. They have Muppets. They have Muppets. They have fruit. There's a lot of creativity that goes on and about where genuinely it's just like if you don't want to go for the more modern day type of art style that a lot of people online criticize, it's possible, but it also comes with like a drawback. It comes with a cost.
Mm.
It is done. Did it work?
The sweet and pun.
But yeah, it's... And essentially, like, when it comes to the whole Cal Arts debates, I genuinely think anybody who's arguing this is, one, only arguing it because they want engagement online, and two, I honestly think it's more so around the idea of just hating anything that is, well, different. Like, I heard a lot, like, there'll be stuff where it's just like, yeah, I remember when like these shows like looked really good, and it'll be like some 80s 90s show that was just made to sell action figures in comparison to like reboots of those shows like He-Man or She-Ra with really good art and animation to it. Like, dude, Skeletor in the He-Man reboot looks so good.
Oh yeah.
Like, and voiced by Mark Hamill too. Like,
it truly is great. I think that's the problem with just. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think that's just a problem with just having too much content. I think I've already said this like so many times, but yeah, it's just when we have so much stuff out there, it is very easy to overinterpret points or to overthink that's like, why did one thing suck? Oh yeah, it's because I don't like this for being slightly different than what I specifically like. I think I heard that. I heard some criticism for like the new Castlevania show, which I don't want to get into spoilers in case anyone wants to watch it. But I mean, it has its good and bad elements. It's not perfect, but they're comparing it like to the first season of Castlevania, which was only like 4 episodes, and it's like, dude, the pacing sucks. It makes no goddamn sense. And it's like, are you really watching it just for the sake of criticizing it? Because why would you watch an entire series you genuinely dislike?
Yeah, I think Kaiser Neko of TFS put it best. Why would I continue to watch something just so that I can bitch?
Like, you have to sit through 8 episodes, which go on for like around 30 minutes. It's not exactly something that you can see as a quick binge. That is like 4 to 5 hours worth of content right there.
Yeah. And then there's also this like there's also the people who, yeah, they will quote unquote criticize this series, but it's always regarding like it's always regarding like it's just again being different. Like the mainly a lot of the vocal like people who are like critical about shows like say the Harley Quinn show, for instance, before it became a show where it's just like, yeah, there was stuff to genuinely criticize about it. Because nowadays it's kind of like it's not what it used to be. It's definitely, I think, fallen off in quality in a number of ways. Like, it's still good, it's just like not as good as it used to be. But like when it first came out, it was just like so many people were just like, dude, it's just a show with a bunch of it's just a show with a bunch of girls. It's just like it's not good. It's where the hell is Batman? Where the hell is insert character here? Like why does it have to be just about like Harley Quinn and a girl who like just has a bat? It's just and then the creators actually came out with an episode that called those same people out. Those same people who make fun of the show but have seen every single fucking episode of it, and it's just like and then even then those same people will still find a way to bitch where it's just like, wow, way to fucking call out your audience for being fucking shallow and everything, way to call out your critics for being shallow and actually like misrepresenting us. And it's just like, it's amazing how the people who this show was calling out are now mad that they're being called out.
My only gripe with the Castlevania show is
the
that
fact that the game series is lore.
Okay,
yeah, that's a fair point, I think.
But I think what you have to understand about like any type of show that's a video game adaptation is sometimes it's just really hard to just do the exact same thing and expect it to just always work out.
Yeah, and
because I'm pretty sure like the Devil May Cry anime, like the original, of course, didn't exactly go in line. Like it had elements of the game, but it tried to kind of do its own thing with like involving the girl Patty. in its own storyline.
Yeah, it's pretty much in the case of like Devil May Cry essentially got majorly popular because it was sort of the it was sort of that non-serious sort of like dated try hard kind of series. And the thing with like the Devil May Cry anime, it was catering more to essentially at the time current time Devil May Cry, because what a lot of people love about like Devil May Cry initially, some people I don't think recall, that was very much with 3. It was a prequel. 3 was absolutely a prequel before, and Devil May Cry 1 and 2 was like the current day, and very much Devil May Cry was focused essentially just on the idea of just demon hunting as just like a job, as an occupation. And yeah, essentially that's it's more so is. But when it came to sort of like the chaotic, like the chaotic fun of Devil May Cry, like if that's what people are looking for, yeah, then I think definitely this newer series is gonna like capture more of that. But yeah,
it's always a problem with an adaptation. Sometimes things are just changed because, well, it's now made to be a show rather than something to be played through. So you have to think about, is this exactly necessary?
And then sometimes, just series are changed up for no particular reason. Looking at you, Promise Neverland. Yeah, it's just like I can listen to a number of shows. Like for example, Fuka, fucking. Oh god, I hate the anime so goddamn much because it's not the fact that it's a cliche mid-2000s slice of life rom-com with a bunch of tropes and etching and whatnot. That is the problem. The problem is that it switches out it goes with that story and switches out for the original story, which was around a band in the process of grief.
Huh. That is a big tonal shift.
Yeah, so essentially going, we essentially the creators going, the creators of the adaptation going, well, we think that's a little too dark, and we're just gonna have it be more lighthearted. It's just like, there's a reason why it was like this. You did not have to change it. And then Promise Neverland started off strong. First season is one of the best. Second season, it just goes in its own direction while haphazardly, like, stitching together parts of the manga without really, like, hitting those same highs. And then, even then, it skips a number of really important parts from the manga. Or just, like, shows it in, like, very quick, and then doesn't even hold on it or anything. Yeah.
That always sucks.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, like, just fucking... Animation and adaptations are just... It's not necessarily, like, as easy as some people want to put it out to be.
Well, sorry for leaving a bad taste in your mouth. Just kidding.
Oh, no. It's, dude, you realize most of my streams are just me just not talking whatsoever. Like, the fact that I got this much conversation in a live stream is just... That's a feat in and of itself, so I thank you for that.
No, if you say.
Yeah. Either way, I'm gonna get out of here. I could do for another run because it's not necessarily my limit, but it's like 15 minutes till it's 10 o'clock. Like, I don't got time for that. These runs take a long time. Anyway.
Well, I'll see you then.
Yep, see ya.
Bye.
Oh. Yeah, that, I don't think I've really talked this... Alright, now y'all. Yep, see you, Star. I don't think I've talked that long, in quite a bit. But, yeah, it's, Essentially, it goes to show that, yeah, I can talk in a stream. I just need stuff and people to talk to. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Links in the description. If you know, are interested, check me out on Kara, follow my portfolio, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Twitter. I don't even fucking use Twitter. Twitch.tv/CafeAtom. I'm tired. Yeah, like, yeah, and, right now, currently, if you want to support me on ko-fi.com/Sozo-sha, you can gain access, to a membership, and also posting, because right now I'm doing some work for Halloween. I've got some sketches going up right now. I updated the, site today for some quick peeks of sketches, and, where progress is. I'll be working on that more so. I'll try to work on that, for the month. I'm hoping at the latest to get it out by the 31st. I should be done before then, but things are going fine for that. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you all take care. Peace.
Okay, busy, my head is spinning, feel dizzy, like ring around. Ain't feeling rosy, wanna see the homies, but I'm leaving home and never stick around. Always on the move, bags packed, grab snacks, fast track, lift off. But I crash fast, gas tanks, ran past that last drip drop. Like, woo, need a day to just catch my breath. Feeling drained, I wanna get some rest. Sleep too long on these few times, but each new dawn I miss my bed. Serious about commas, but a period's what I want. Really missing the comma, full freedom, missing all qualms, yeah. What? As it turns out, I'm getting burnt out.